What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more AFK Journey, and today, well, we're going to be talking about the upcoming season that is about to hit the global community. I believe it's the 17th for most players. Granted, you've probably already seen some content creators making some videos on the VN test servers, which get it about 2 weeks early. Now, there's some really positive things to this new season, as well as some negatives, and I'm going to go over a couple of those here today, potentially starting with one of the negative, which is the Paragon system changes, and a couple of things very similar to that. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Let's jump right into it. So first off, you can see this is very much like other season starts where, you have a bunch of new areas to go to. There's a ton of extra loot, epic invites, diamonds, all that fun stuff. The story, which I'm sure people absolutely love, as well as time-gated zone openings. So these will be very much like what we saw in Waves of Intrigue, where you're gated to a specific time period to get through these zones. Which is really, really good, because in the previous season before that, the was it Song of Strife, it was a little bit harder because you could go much further as a spender versus a free-to-play player, and it's a lot more even in that aspect of the early game progression, because remember, you're also having things like this where we have a completely new season AFK challenge. You have, of course, starting off at level 0, you're going to be leveling up, you're going to be getting diamonds, invites, all those normal things, even faction talent. So a lot of things that you guys saw in the Waves of Intrigue season are going to be the same. However, there are some changes that did happen, which I'm not exactly the happiest about, especially me, as I would say I'm still a high spender, but I'm not like those megalodons that have like Paragon 4 heroes and stuff. That's going to be one of the biggest changes, and in order to talk about that, I want to show you guys an image real quick. So this was nice enough, somebody on Reddit actually put this together so you guys can understand the differences. As you all know, Paragon levels are mainly changes in PvP with their rivalry stats. Now, of course, you're still getting a very small percentage of raw stats that will be added to your heroes in every game mode, but really it comes down to PvP when it comes to different Paragon levels. And you can see they did a really awesome comparison here with the rivalry stats, showing what they used to be at Paragon 1 and what they will be at Paragon 1 in the future once we get this patch on global. You can see at the very beginning it's really not much of a difference, but as you go up, it's no longer linear scaling where it used to be 15, 30, 45, 60. Now it's 18, 36, 63, 90. So this is a big to do going between a Paragon 2 and Paragon 3 and higher when it comes to your viability in PvP. All of these things are very important stats, and then there's also this 2 new stats that are being introduced, inspiration and intimidation, which are extremely important. And I believe these numbers are added based on the number of people on your team. So if you have a full Paragon 4 team, I think it's 36 times 5, but again, I haven't really tested the end game content just yet. I just know that this is going to be one of those topics that is a very touchy topic. Me personally, I am a Paragon 2 account holder. I have every hero in the game. I've spent a decent amount. I have almost every single even Celestial Hydrogen to Paragon. Maybe one, I think I only have a couple to Paragon 2, and as it stands, PvP is already very hard. For me to go up against those Paragon 4 teams as a Paragon 2 whale, it's near impossible to get wins against them because of these rivalry stats. And what's going to happen more is those Paragon 4 teams are going to become even more viable, or not even viable, more overpowered, I guess I would say. So I do think this is going to deter a lot of people in my situation from spending any more on AFK Journey. I just don't think it's going to happen, because in order to get to Paragon 4, that is a huge investment to go from Paragon 2 accounts to Paragon 4. And remember, I've been playing since the very beginning. Most all of my main heroes are Paragon 2 now, but I even have some Celestial Hydrogen that are just at Supreme Plus because of the extreme investment it takes to put into those. Now, I would say if I would have spent smarter and not build heroes like Dunlinger and all these other ones that you don't necessarily need to have on your account, but I do it to showcase them and show you guys whether they are actually viable or not, that's a whole different topic. I probably could have spent smarter, built other heroes up to higher Paragons, and that would have been better. But I think a lot of people are in my situation. They want to build a lot of the heroes. They want to have every hero at their disposal. And if you're trying to get heroes up to Paragon 4, that's going to be one of the biggest negatives, I think, in this upcoming season. It's already on the VN test servers. It will be on the global server soon. I'm really hoping they make a change to it. But at this point, since they've already implemented it, I highly doubt they nerf it or change it, because then that makes the people who spent mad. So this is one thing to be prepared. Honestly, the average player needs to completely discount PvP. You're not going to compete at the very top ranks of Arena. You probably weren't already, but now you're sure as heck not. Me, as a top 20 to top 5 in that range, Arena PvPer, I'm no longer going to be able to compete with those. I had, really strong teams that pushed me all the way up to rank 5 on my server, and my server has a ton of Megalodon whales. And then, of course, I got knocked back down. This is just going to make it worse. So just be prepared. PvP is pretty much off the table for you guys starting in the next season. It's not even going to be close. Now, there are, of course, a few things that are really, really awesome that are coming to this game. One of them we've talked about previously, the exclusive equipment reset. There's going to be a new item that allows you to reset the exclusive equipment all the way back to 0, refunding all of the essences that you put into something, which is really good because, I mean, I got some heroes that I just don't use anymore that I invested a decent amount in that are going to be a little bit questionable keeping on them. So having this type of ability is probably something we needed last season, but the fact that they're adding it now, that is at least a huge positive to see for our community. One of the negatives, again, so we're kind of going back and forth between positive and negatives of this upcoming season, new heroes being released. As far as Celestial and Hypogean go, I think it's been pretty much confirmed that we're getting 3 Celestial Hypogeans in this season instead of 2 that we were previously getting. Well, we got Dunlinger and Harak last time. Harak being very, very good, Dunlinger being very, very bad. 3 of them are coming, and they're starting with the twins that are very, very powerful. We'll have to see how that plays out. This is very much going to be a make sure you're saving your Stargazers for those really, really good units and not necessarily ones that you like but don't perform. So it's kind of a negative, kind of a positive. It gives you more options, but it also gives you a little more FOMO. Also, speaking of new heroes, there are some fan favorites from AFK Arena coming in the season. One of them being Lorson, which Lorson is actually going to be acquirable completely free, at least a copy or whatever, plus some essences, which is going to be cool. I always forget that there's extra diamonds here just for reading the news too. We do have confirmation of Valka coming, the Forsaken Blade in the Graveborn faction, as well as Kalan. I really love the art and idea of this hero. So seeing a hero like this come into the game, really, really awesome. And like I said, Lorson is going to be free. Completing quests earn points. You'll get Lorson as well as his specific temporal essence. These have already been integrated in the game in this season. Their essences designed specifically for one hero. However, they make them much easier to get and in more quantities. So there's a positive and negative to that. One, if Lorson ends up not being good, kind of makes the essence a little not useful for your overall account. But if Lorson ends up being really, really good, then that's a huge positive. One of the, I guess you could say, positives or negatives, I'll leave that up to you, is you'll notice in our tavern here, we have something new called Rosy Cosmetics. And this right here, we'll dive deeper into, for those who want to see it. These are going to be both, I don't necessarily know if they're going to be skins, but they are cosmetics that are in a gacha system. There's more skins coming to the game, or more things that you can get. This one is very much like a Tailene oriented type skin, which looks really, really cool. But they do hide it behind a gacha mechanic instead of straight up purchasing it. And of course, a lot of this is still not even translated properly. So getting the correct items that you want is no longer something you can just go and purchase. Instead, you need to do a couple different things here. You need to have these rosy jewels, or of course, just straight dragon crystals. You see right here, we don't have any of them, so we can't do it here. There are different ones as well, different redemptions you can do that last quite a while. There are exclusive hero skins too, so you can see right here, we have the new Tailene, or what am I talking about, Tailene? Tassie skin, which looks really, really badass. There's a lot of really cool looks here that just look amazing. So like, that's kind of cool. You have the typical Velvet store that we're used to seeing, including, again, more skins that are coming to the game that look pretty dang sweet. I gotta say, they look awesome. And these are still going to be for the season ticket, so that's very, very easy. And then lastly, they have the Golden Rose. This is the one that you can just buy random stuff for gold. These stores are essentially ones that used to live in the Emporium. You'll notice they're no longer in the Emporium. They still have the season store here, but the cosmetic stuff are gone. And now they added 2 gacha things. So is this good? Is this bad? I'm going to leave that up to you guys. So let me know what you guys think, your take on this. I'm going to be doing a little bit more of a deep dive on specific systems in the VN test server this week as we get more and more closer to our launch. And we're going to go over exactly the positives and the negatives in a little bit more depth. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. I'll see you guys next time.